All right, we backstage, we live.
Good.
I don't think I need my glasses anymore. I think I'm hotter without them.
I think it's the operative word.
All right, we backstage.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Easily one of the best intros in the game. Easily.
The bestest. Well, listen, the world going crazy. Just while I'm waiting for us to come on, I'm watching this a bingo loose in Houston. What? And it's in the neighborhood. It's in the neighborhood. So, man, crazy. Hey, we back from vacation. Welcome to the best show on earth, the Black Super Friends podcast. Tonight, I will serve as one of your hosts, D. Horace Town, aka Mactastic. I'm joined by my three best friends, and that's why we call the Super Friends. All right, internationally known Black Super Friends. All right, let me go around the horn and introduce everyone that is in attendance. Tonight we're going to be light. Football season is not here, so I don't have any jokes for them. But when Cowboy Nation comes up, I'll be ready. The person I'm going to first is outside of Atlanta, GA, the owner of Hardy Home Inspection. You would know him tonight as Super Mario Senior.
Gracias for the introduction. You know it's always gonna be Go Cowboys over here. Don't worry.
Yep, they going too. All right, next I'm going to the person that actually has a team that's winning for the first time in his whole life, and it's a Miami team. It won't be the
Cheers to the
Dolphins.
champions.
It won't. No, they don't do that. They won one game. They
That's
won
all
one
right.
game, but the biggest Miami Heat fan on this stage tonight will be known as Zay, the ladies' man.
Evening, my brothers. Evening, TV land.
All right. Well, I don't know if it's professional to drink Ripple during the episode.
Mad Dog 2020.
Oh my God.
Yeah, G. Sanford.
I really think that's what Teleport is, an updated version of Mad Dog 2020. Yeah. All right, next we're going to the architect of confusion, the wisest Leo, the man who has the logo behind us, the man who designed our first logo. You would know him as the Chris Leo.
Yes. Thank you. Man. We miss you Memorial Day, but even we gotta take some days off, man. But we're glad you came back this week, and let's get ready for an awesome show.
Absolutely. So let's start it off right. You know, I always said that God won't allow such sinners to win, but he allowed the Miami Heat to get one win, all right? But then he went against a team that is known for being high as a kite up in Denver, the Denver Nuggets. What's your NBA prediction after the series is 1-1? I'm gonna go to Zay, the ladies, man, since you actually got a win this week.
You know it's Miami Heat. We getting the championship this year. Again, underdogs. I love it. Every minute of it. Just stay tuned.
All righty. Next, I'm gonna go to Super Mario Senior because I don't think we got a dog in the fight, right?
No, but I stay in Georgia and I'm from Florida. So long as the Florida team left, I'm always go for them. Anytime I go to a bar, you don't think I'm a Heat fan. So the other night, you'd have thought I was Tim Hardaway's son. I showed my butt. So keep going, Heat. Keep going. I love to see people from other states cower as the Miami the only team playing. So good job.
Well, I tell you what, you'll see me in a Miami Heat hat or jersey before you ever see me put on that stuff called the Miami Dolphins gear. I would have to lose a bet
Next
before I
year.
put on such material. Let me go to the NBA analyst on our podcast, Chris Leo. Give me some real statistics.
Oh well, man, I got to go with the Heat in 6, man. I like what I seen. I think basketball is about adjustments, and I say a lot on the show. I think Coach Spoelstra is one of the best coaches in the league, and I think he proved that Game 2 is not, the job is not done, but I think he proved that Game 2 by making his adjustments. I don't know what you guys seen, but what I say, I tell you what I seen. I seen in Game 1 they guarded Jokic on the catch. So when they guard him on the catch, Jokic is normally facing the basket. The defense sets up in help side. That's why you see a lot of backdoor cuts, easy dump downs for layups. You were seeing that all through Game 1. Well, I think the adjustment that they made was they don't guard Jokic until the dribble now. And I think what that does is it limits his options. In basketball, we're taught to have a 3-point stance. If you're in a 3-point stance, you get the opportunity to shoot, pass, and dribble. But once you dribble, now you have limited your chances. So I think that's what Spoelstra is doing now, not guarding Jokic until he dribbles. Also, what I think they're doing on the back end of the defense is he keeping their man attached to their man. Instead of previously, well, Bam would defend Jokic on the catch and everybody else be looking at the ball in the help side. What they do now is saying that's a one-on-one matchup with whoever Jokic is guarding. You stay attached to your man and communicate on all the screens. That's why you see a lot less production in all the other players and a lot less production, assist production through Jokic. He only had 4 assists. They're going to win when he in double-digit assists. But if you guard Jokic when he puts the ball on the ground, it limits his options. Now he can't do nothing but pass or shoot. And if you stay connected to your man, you limited that. So now you got to force him to be a scorer. If you look at the amount of shots that he took, that's not sustainable. So if you can contain Murray, who hasn't had a good game this series, if you can contain Murray, if you can contain Porter, is up and down. He shows up one game, he doesn't show up the next game, and that's been all throughout the playoffs. But I think if they can continue to do that, they have a good chance of winning this thing in 6 in Miami. But Mike Malone is a really, really good coach, so I look forward to see the adjustment that he make going into Miami. But it's been a really entertaining series to me.
I got Denver in 6. Last game, I don't give Spo credit that I'm supposed to. I still think that you got Pat Riley behind him that's still mentoring him. So in the end, he's going to be a great coach. I think Pat Riley has been around long enough where he can see. I think you're right about how they're playing Jokic, but I think they'll adjust. I think last game, nobody on Denver really was scoring, and I felt like they still handled Miami easy. Even in the loss that came out to the last minute, I just feel like Miami has to play so high to be able to compete with Denver. And the fact of Murray not showing up for a whole series, I just feel like the odds of that is not high. And to be honest, people are acting so surprised about Murray. But let's remember, before the injury, man, we were saying like this dude is phenomenal. So I think Denver will sustain in 6. But I will say whoever wins the next game, I think will actually win the series. That's a big momentum. Even if it's still whatever, I still think if he can pull out another win, I think it'll send Denver into a panic mode. Yeah.
Absolutely. Got to watch those goons from Miami, Dade County, man.
Yeah, I got to give them credit.
Heart, my boy.
They do. The tenacity. That's the word I would use with them.
So the only thing I keep saying with them is hard work beat talent when talent don't work hard. Because I can't deny that Denver's talented, but my boys keep showing up to work, and I like it. They got dog in them this year. So
it's gonna be tough to out hustle and outwork a Miami-led team. Mm-hmm. That culture is about hard work and toughness. But like, I don't know if what the game you was watching today, but Strauss was hitting open shots. Not those threes was contested. So it's hard. He gonna have to really make an answer, find out some kind of adjustment to stop open shots, because them boys can hit open shots. It's when you defend them shots is what it becomes tougher.
So what you said though, what you said is gonna be the key. Our defense. See, our defense is what took them out of their game and out of their rhythm. See, they only hitting. I mean, they're only good or coming back on the defense when they good and they making their shots. So if we apply the pressure on defense, they're gonna play lazy on the flip side, and we're gonna kill them with that each and every chance they give us. So It's gonna be one to see.
Yeah, if you stay attached, man, you can stop a lot of that backdoor stuff. You can stop a lot of the assists by Jokic. You just got to stay attached to your man. You got to let whoever guarding Jokic, that be a one-on-one matchup, And
he's
he
a superstar.
if he make amazing shots, he make amazing
That's
shots.
what he's supposed to do.
Last night, he made some amazing shots, but you got to live with that. Stay attached to your man. Don't give up that three. Don't give up them backdoor cuts. Communicate on them screens, because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to do backdoor screens on you all night. And if you communicate on them, especially on the baseline, you switch. Baseline, you're supposed to switch. So I'm telling you, it's
gonna be one to see.
Forward to seeing this series.
It's gonna be one to see.
Yeah, I give Miami the credit. The level they're playing at, I don't see them having that same tenacity.
Oh, that zone too.
That
was a big adjustment too. I like that.
Yeah, adjustments don't happen. Chris, before we get heavy, give me a movie review. I heard Spider-Man Black.
Man, okay, look, listen to me. All right, first of all,
he's biracial.
It was a war, somewhat of a war with my daughter, because she really wanted to see the Little Mermaid. Well, she wanted to see both of them equally, but she wanted to see the Mermaid, and I just said I vetoed Mermaid off with not doing that. Over with. But as far as Spider-Man, I'm not a big Spider-Man fan. I'm a Marvel's fan, but I'm not a big Spider-Man fan. I always thought he was one of the wimpiest superheroes in the Marvel universe. But this last Spider-Man with all three of them was pretty damn good. The Tobey Maguire ones at the beginning was good. But this one is different. And I didn't even see the first one because it was an animated series, but this one is totally different. And I tell you guys to go see this with your children, because at the end of the day, this has a father undertone to it, and it's a heavy undertone to it. And when you watch this movie and you reflect on it, it's really the story of a father and child relationship. Not even just one dynamic, it's several dynamics. I'm gonna give you a little bit of a spoiler, not much, but I think that in the movie Peter Parker, a version of Peter Parker has a child, and that's showing his dynamic. The Spider-Girl has a father who's a police chief. Miles Morales, who's played Spider-Man, the Black Spider-Man, who's half Latino, he has a dynamic with his father. Man, it's an amazing movie. Another thing I liked about it is what I disliked about Phase 4 was the way they did female characters. They made female characters way stronger than the other characters, and they was taking over historically male characters like they did with Thor, like they did with She-Hulk and stuff like that. But this one doesn't have an agenda. These female characters are not fighting the patriarchy. They're not trying to outdo men. They're just fighting with them, and you don't even notice that they're women. You just appreciate that they're superheroes in this movie, and I think that's the most amazing thing. The only thing I will say that I disliked about this movie is the kid is named Miles Morales. And a lot of people don't understand why I mean that. I'm like, I say, because they say, well, he is Black and Hispanic, but his mama isn't Hispanic. His father is Black. So I'm wondering how he got the name Morales. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I definitely recommend it, man. The father undertone in this movie is amazing. I had to fight with my daughter again about not seeing The Mermaid, and she wanted an explanation. I say, well, I don't want to see a movie about a reckless teenager that disobeys her father, get in trouble just to go up to the mainland to get a boyfriend, gets in trouble. Now the father who told her not to go have to come in and save her, and he ends up dying. No, I don't. I do not want to see The Little Mermaid. But Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse and Beyond, or Across the Spider-Verse, is an amazing movie.
All right, let me say, I got this from the Pivot. Shout out to Fred T, Palm Beach County, one of Palm Beach County's best products. And they had a segment on the Pivot, which we all follow. And he said he kept it simple, which we've done on many episodes as well, having the mental check-in with each other. So let me ask you something. You good? Are you okay? And do you need anything? Super Mario.
I'm good. I'm okay. And right now, I don't need nothing. Pretty good right now.
Okay. Let me go second. Zay, mental check-in. Are you good? Are you okay? Do you need anything?
See my wine? I'm drinking my wine. It's not all right, but it's okay. I'm going to be all right anyway. I think some famous people made a song about that, but whatever. Life is life right now. It is what it is, but See the queen. Told you it was somebody famous. But no, I mean, life is life, and it's one of those things you got to take a pause break sometimes, and things don't go how you think they should, but they go the way that they should go, if that makes any sense to you. And you just got to sit back, and since you can't control others, control yourself to the best of your ability. So why I say it'll be okay is because I'm always a forward-thinking person. So I'm thinking solution-based. Made a few moves that I probably didn't want to make, but was forced to. That's life. We always got to do uncomfortable things. So now you're just going through that season. And the thing that I'm learning the most inside of that is as you're going through it, you're growing through it. So I don't really need anything from anyone per se. I do need to focus and hone in on what's actually happening and then take the steps that God is guiding me in this season right now to make sure that I come out on top of it unscathed. And at least if I do get burnt, it'll be the lesson that's learned, but it won't be a loss. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. But it's not anything that I won't be able to persevere through. So I will be okay. I don't need anything.
All right. I will tell you, we've been overdue for a conversation, but I had an epiphany the other day, and I think I got a good analogy to get you to understand where I might be coming from. Yeah, see, sometimes time provides clarity. I will say this: Cat Carter, Elvin Parker, and Richard Riles Jr. Those were 3 deaths in 5 days. All of them were close to me in different dynamics. So, are you good? I actually am good. I've been hanging out with one of my BFs. Are you okay? I think I am because I've always had the pleasure of learning how to facilitate and still do what I need to do day to day, despite what's going on. Do you need anything other than money? I think I just need. I
I
think,
forgot about that.
yeah. Do you need anything other than? I don't know, man. Listen, this was a month that I know I'm in a better place mentally because last year or even before we started that show, I don't think I'd be in a place to handle losing certain people, especially Junior, because we had a unique relationship and life. Like I said, I'm just like everybody else. Life is life, and bro, it's a storm coming. When I left Capitol Hill last month, bro, from insurance to food, interest rates, like for people that's older, y'all understand, bro. I look at every day and say, man, how there's gonna be more people homeless. It's like almost not possible to survive right now, man. I'm in a community where the HOA went up, then they hit us with $1,000 assessment. Then you're thinking about your regular bills, car insurance. If you're a homeowner, being nervous because you got to wait to see if the homeowner's insurance going to cover you another year because they're not covering certain people. Bro, it's real life out here, and it's just it makes people learn about politics. Some of the stuff we took for granted, now you look at your parents and be like more appreciative because they endured some stuff, and we probably dealing with twice that type stuff. So, bro, I had some dark days last 2 weeks.
So good. I mean, I'm glad you said what you said, Horace, because I actually thought I fumbled over this for a little bit, and I was like, you know what, I'm all right, but I'm not, because I know that we need to have that conversation, and us being transparent, like we're going to use this platform in the right way. We are no different than anybody watching this platform. If you hear us a lot of times when we speak, we're often trying to give you guys pointers on our mess ups, and some people may take that one way or another. That's on you and your heart. We're only doing what we feel like is the best. We could be doing something else on Monday. Trust me, all of us have things that need to be done, and some more stuff. And the reason why I'm saying that, Rick Ross has a very good lyric or verse that he says. And he says, before you beef with your dog, give him some space. As a lot of y'all know, me and Horace had a little tension, and it's all right because it's just a misunderstanding. Like he said, he feels away, I feel away. We're both headstrong. And we tell you this all the time. We're headstrong male, straight males. You feel me? That have businesses and things going on. And we try to point to each other in the best way. One of the things I learned from my brother is iron sharpens iron, but sometimes when that iron is trying to sharpen that iron, it can't cut. And we hurt each other. But it's not intentional. And that's where the communication and conversations need to happen. So a lot of times that does happen in not just us, but everyone else. You just have to recognize it. One of the easiest things to do is to be mad with someone. One of the hardest things to do is to be humble and actually understand where that problem is coming in. So I think we're guiding into that. So that goes back into what you were saying about storms, because I did do church this weekend. I actually got a chance to sit in and get a sermon from Aunt Betty. When you get a chance, Aunt Betty is at Mount Pleasant, right down the street from Grandma's house, and she did the message Sunday, and it was about storms. So to hear you say that was kind of confirmation for me that all those things that you were mentioning, not just in family, not just in friends or in business and stuff, but life is really about to change for a lot of people, and you got to get ready for that, and you want to be in tune with your closest people. So one thing that I know about the author of confusion is that's what he's going to do. He's going to divide you so that he can weed you out and have you by yourself so that you can attack you easier to pick off when you're not in numbers. So I'm glad that you said that. But again, in due time, we'll sit down and have the conversation. We both have busy lives, but it's not something that we are going to shy away from. We're actually going to address it. And hopefully once we come to the resolution, we'll have a podcast on and get the joke and laugh about where we probably made some idiot mistakes. It is what it is. Part of growth.
Yeah. Listen, I've had my moments on there. So I told you 2 weeks ago, I had a dark moment. And I probably hadn't been in that place in probably like 10 years. But, so don't think it ain't hard on men. But I'm going to give Chris Leo some credit because the person that actually started making us tap into just being able to have that conversation and say you good or whatnot was Chris Leo. We always say like, hey, you good? And you have a little small talk, but you ain't never really be intentional. Chris Leo, you good? You okay? Do you need anything besides money?
Dog. I got to go back to this conversation that y'all having, man, because at the end of the day, dog, y'all let y'all little tiff kind of get in the field with business, dog. BSF has nothing to do with y'all personal disagreements, and I would like for BSF business to stay out of y'all personal disagreements. You know what I'm saying? And then y'all got to understand, y'all this stuff happens quarterly with you guys. You guys have a blow up quarterly, so there's something there that you guys need to really, really have a conversation about, because this happens quarterly with you guys. You know what I'm saying? And again, I know it's all love, and we all love each other, but it keeps on happening, and that's a conversation that you guys need to have. Because like I said, it cannot interfere. This show got to keep on going, whether y'all hang out or like each other or not. This show got to keep on going.
Okay. The question was, Chris, you good? Are you okay? Do you need anything?
No, I don't know what I am, though. I'm conflicted. I'm on the side. No, I'm not good, but then I don't feel like I'm not good. Like I'm counting the days of when my daughter actually leaves, but then I'm enjoying every minute and everything like that. I'm coming off of one of the most successful years at my company, money wise, but I feel like I'm failing. I go through some loneliness, but then I'm having a random I'm doing random things. So you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm conflicted a lot, bro. I'm conflicted a lot. I think that at my age, sometimes I think I should be a little farther along, but then I'm surveying, some of my homeboys in their situation, and it makes me feel like, damn, I ain't going through that. You know what I'm saying? I got homeboys going through baby mama situations and child support situations and divorce and all that. And I look back and say, well, I'm lucky I'm not going through that. But then you look at it and you get envious. You know what I'm saying? You look at a Hardy and you think like, well, shit, should I be, doing what he doing? Or, or you just, you happy because you at peace now. My life had been a lot of chaos all through my life. And this is one of the first times I can say I'm just really at peace. I'm really at peace, but then it's like I'm paranoid too, because I don't know should I be moving, should I be doing something more. So yeah, I'm really, really, really conflicted. And to be honest, even with what Zay said, I almost contemplated going to church. I had met this chick and she said she was going to go to church. I had met her Saturday, and then she said she was going to go to church, and she had invited me, and I almost, took her up on the because I don't know, but yeah, conflicted.
I say this, just my insight. I had to learn a couple years ago to practice spirit of gratitude. I got that from Julia Riddles. You know what I mean? Because it's so easy to forget where you come from, and you can't really appreciate where you're at in that moment. And I'm bad at that. Absolutely. And then you got to give yourself some grace sometime, man. Sometimes we fail at our own expectations for ourselves, and then you be hard on yourself, but then you don't give yourself no credit. I remember when Chris, he broke my heart. Chris got in the car and said, I'm going back to Orlando, but I understood. You know what I mean? So Chris get in that car going to Orlando, like it's two different Chris. This is not the same Chris that I'm looking at now. Who can say I just had one of my most successful years? And then I'm pretty sure knowing Cupcake is growing up and going off to college soon, but you got it right now. And I think that's what got me through the death of Riles Jr. because I'm hurt, but I can only imagine his parents. But then when I look back on it, like, what if I never knew him at all? Like I can say, we had some life-changing conversations and moments. So I just learned to appreciate, even in the loss, that God, I'm going to be grateful for what you did give me. So, it's hard being black men out in America, period. Mm-hmm. So, it is. But, like I say, Chris, this is always your thing. And let me give Zay something. You know how we get mad at Andre 3000? And we like, this nigga walking through Japan right now with a bone flute. And then you see it on the video where he was apologizing to Big Boy. Mm-hmm. That's one of my moments with Zay, and that's my analogy. Like, bro, like I feel like Big Boy, and I'm looking at Andre like, bro, what we could have, you the Andre, Zay, and that's gonna soak in probably overnight. I feel like Big Boy and you Andre, and everybody out here want Andre to just get his ass in that booth and put that flute down for one album, and that's just interesting. Hardy, had anything before we transfer? Because you too quiet tonight.
I'm actually good. Sitting back looking at y'all. I'm pretty good tonight, man. I'm pretty good, man. Life is good, except for having 2 little kids. But that's the gift and the curse all in itself. But it's pretty good, man.
You know what?
Hold on. And then what y'all gotta understand is y'all's relationship is the foundation of what we got going on. Y'all the one got the longest friendship. Y'all the one was the closest,
But I think the misconception of what you missed too, Chris, because you have this same thing with your brother. We're brothers, regardless. So guess what brothers do sometimes? They can't stand each other. And sometimes they got to give each other space. And then you know what? I think overall, the thing is, it's still love, but sometimes you don't understand things. And that's why I think you got to give it space, because you know what? They tripping right now, but I love them enough to love them alone is something that I learned. And then when cooler heads prevail, then we can have that conversation. Because the other thing that I learned inside of this, and I learned this in my own family, is that you can't rush a person. And when they're speaking about what's bothering them, because they probably can't articulate it at that point in time. Yes, as human beings, we get upset like, hey, what's wrong with him? He tripping. But he not tripping. He feeling the way he don't. And as men, I always say this, we're taught how to just be rough, tough, and we're led with ego. So sometimes what you're trying to say to a person, you don't say it in the best way, and it comes off crass. Nobody wants to know nobody cares what you know till they know that you care. Horace just said, as black men, life is hard for us. So sometimes we do beat ourselves up first. And if that's going on, and then another person comes on and give you some more shellacking, do you think you want to hear what they got to say? You don't, because you're already depleted a little. So that's where I think that kind of comes in. But then, like you say, you got to stop, because everything is not in our control. It's in his control. So he may have us in the garden, for lack of better words, our 40 days and 40 nights, where that's your brother, but you don't need him right now. You need me. So you stand still over here by yourself, and it feels bad. And sometimes our normal mode of operation is it's this person's fault and that person's fault. But I learned this from you, Chris. What part did you play? You got to take accountability for yourself, and you got to work on the things that you can control, and you got to let them work on their own. And then when that time does come about, y'all can have it out, because I'm always the advocate for men can talk. But I had to learn, as much as I champion that, men can talk when that time permits. And it's all not all men can do it. Not all people can do it. So I might be one of them special people, but guess what? I mess up too, because I'm still human. So sometimes I say things and I mean it. You've corrected me before when I'll say something like, I don't care. But I didn't tell you what I didn't care about. And you're like, oh, Zay, you can't say that. But that could be offensive to someone. And just because you didn't mean to offend someone don't mean that it didn't still happen. So you got to be aware of that. And that's the only thing, the takeaway that I have for that. So that's why. But again, like I said, we try to be as transparent, because we'll never ever tell you something that we ourselves won't first try. And if we fail at something, I'm always one throwing myself down and saying, hey, I messed up here. You do it as well. So I don't have no problem in this situation doing the same exact thing. And that's the only reason why I used it in my explanation.
I just say it like this. It's conflicting for us, because if you say something about Horace, you actually talking about my dog. And if Horace say something about Zay, you actually talking about my dog. So eventually I can't sit here and continue to, ride or let you tell me about it, because in honesty, you're talking about my homeboy. So it just put us in a really awkward space.
Makes sense.
Shout out to Norman Jr. who shot me anyway. Talking about beef. That guy gave me a beating last week, and I was like, not right now.
Whoa.
He didn't care.
Don't worry.
Whoa. Well, he didn't care. He still.
I tell you what, and that's another brother of ours. Y'all don't get to meet him because he stays in the background. He's a sniper. But he clipped me too. He teaches us lessons. And I had to say, he was one inside of this lesson period too as well. Where I had to say, man, the younger me would have been furious. The older me, I've learned grace and mercy. And I say, you know what? I love my brother. He has historically been who he is. And I got to accept him for that. If anything else would be foolish. And me being mad, guess what? Say you the damn fool. Because hasn't Norman historically shown you who Norman is? Yes. Okay. So just saying.
Let me while I'm still in that space and I need to crank Mario up. Let's talk beef. This week, y'all listen, I'm gonna tell you the ones. Let's talk Rick Ross versus DJ Envy / Gunplay, Scottie Pippen versus Micheal Jordan, Kwame Brown versus Shannon Shape. Listen, I always tell you the media loves to put those stories out in front. I ain't gonna lie, they're not entertaining because everybody that's beefing got some kind of mouth on them, man. But the Rick Ross and DJ Envy, I didn't take it serious, but then it started going going left. The whole thing recording conversation. I don't want no beef with Gunplay, but that was kind of corny on my part and illegal, so that's not smart at all. What was y'all thoughts about the internet beef? Because that goes viral fast. Nothing positive can get shared.
Ever goes. Drama
and beef goes fast. Mario, did you see any of the latest circus last week?
I've seen all of it. I think it's just must-see TV, like you said. People say stuff about people all the time, but it's just what we highlight. Kwame been talking about people forever. He said something about Shannon Shape. The only thing about that I didn't like is, and I said this on the internet last week. I said the only two people right now in the world you can't talk about is Jesus Christ and LeBron James. Because people swear to God, like you cannot say anything wrong about LeBron James, and then it's just like all hell and brimstone rain down. Like he can go 0 for 40, no assists, and have 5 turnovers. And if you say he had a trash game, he only 38. He's still like, geez, bro, he had a trash game. It's crazy, bro. I go through this debacle every day. So on Kwame, it is like what Kwame was saying was a little outlandish, but it still had some facts. And they act like because you wasn't good, now you can't have a point of view. Like I can't on my channel have a point of view of what I feel about a game I watched. When that's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll say this. The Envy and the Rick Ross thing, now that right there, I believe escalated very quickly. Very quickly. I believe that was brewing though. I believe if you ever watch their show and if you ever watch their IGs, that's been brewing for a while because both of them been doing the same thing. And it's been like dancing around it, and it finally came to a head. You see what I'm saying? And then The who the other one you said?
Pippen and Mike.
That was just I think it's so crazy because now we go back to that LeBron. Like so many anybody who liked that comment that Pippen said is just a hater. See, that's what I'm talking about. Hate. Like you can say you didn't like Mike. You can say Mike was selfish. You can say a lot of stuff, but to say, and that's what I be talking about.
Horrible player.
People saying horrible player, but then you will have people who actually watch basketball who are over the age of 25 who say Pippen was the man. That's not the point. The whole point was he said Jordan was horrible. Brett, nobody in this green earth can say Jordan was horrible. You cannot use that word and Jordan in the same sentence. You don't have to like Jordan. You could have been a fan. Like I don't like some people. I don't like the Lakers. It's no way I say Kobe was horrible. Magic Johnson was horrible because I don't like it. Me and Tootie go back and forth all the time about I'm never gonna say Brady was horrible. But that's just like ludicrous. But then you'll see grown men who call themselves sports people saying, well, he was kind of right. And one thing this week taught me is I lost a lot of respect for a lot of people. A lot. I start seeing that it's a lot of emotional people because one thing I watched is this. If you couldn't see the hate in Pippen heart about his wife getting smashed,
yeah,
and then you agree with that,
You like that.
I seen a little suckerness in you.
You tender.
I seen it. I seen a little suckerness in you, and I don't care. I'm gonna call it out, and I'm never gonna forget it because I seen it. And when the nigga was on there, yeah, Pippen, yeah, boy, you a chopstick, you a chopstick Charlie. Like right there,
tender chicken.
I'm gonna wait for you to make your podcast and start hating on all the other fellas because that's what them is. I bet you Derrick Jackson, Charlie, Chapstick Charlie, and the other dude with the do-rag, all of them got Pippen jerseys and all the elite versions of Pippins in their closet because those are those kind of. And I see a lot of my homeboys Pippen this, and it hurt me, but I just put I put them on my whiteboard. Watch this, like Uncle Ruckus. Watch this Joker here. That's all I gotta say about that. I watched that. I said, I actually think it's okay to discredit a man by the woman. Whoa.
Chris.
Oh man, all these beefs, man. To me, dog, it's so female-ish. Like men normally don't do this because of there's a threat of violence between each other. You can't say certain things because I could see you and it could be something. Women are just as aggressive as men. They just show it different ways. They display it different ways. And normally it's in character assassination, exposing, public defamation and things like that. And that's what I think I'm seeing here. I'm okay. When the Rick Ross and Envy thing, I was okay with the trolling each other. Fine, trolling the car show, cool. But I'm just not into bringing kids' wives into a situation, or people just that don't have nothing to do with it. I'm not into that. With the Scottie Pippen thing, that's just horrible, man. Scottie Pippen was in Central Arkansas, man. Without Jordan, he wouldn't be the player that he was, and he owed a lot of his fame. He owed a lot of his career. He owed that Hall of Fame jacket to playing alongside the greatest player in the world. And the sad thing is we have interview right now that you can pull up on YouTube with him saying a whole different story.
Yeah.
Compared to LeBron. Whole entire different story. And I don't even think that video is in the archives nowhere. It's probably like 2 or 3 years old. So that's a sad thing. Like we got you on tape saying a totally different story. So that was crazy with me. But the Shannon Sharpe and Kwame thing, I don't understand, Shannon. Like people are very emotional about sports. This whole playoff, think about it. When the playoff started, Embiid was the best player. Then went to Steph. LeBron beat Steph. Now it's LeBron. And then Jimmy Bucket's having his run. They think he's the best. Now all of a sudden, Jokic is the best. You know what I'm saying? So people get emotional about games. People get emotional about series. And then it's like, yes, getting swept matters. It does affect your brand. It does affect your legacy. It does affect your current record. So for Shannon to take it almost take it personal, like he talking about him. I've never seen or heard Shannon nor LeBron say that we are close friends. Never, ever. So why are you taking comments about LeBron so personal to the point where he has a YouTube page. You have a nationally syndicated show, and you're bringing him up. Shannon, like, what the hell? Like, why is he that relevant for you to be talking about him? And then y'all insulting each other. You got your two grown men insulting each other. And that, again, that reminds me of women because they know if they know they're not going to fight, now you just want to be better at insulting each other and putting each other down. That's to me, that's whole shit, man. And I wouldn't vibe. Oh, man.
Let me ask you something.
I tell you, that emotional versus that logical, you see it every time. You know what I'm saying? When you let that emotional win, you are going to lose. When you start talking about these different beasts, I'm always the one that says those rich nigga problems because all of them doing way better than all four of us. And y'all got too much time on your hands to do that. Like, I really didn't pay any of them any attention because what is that? Other than what you said, Chris, whole shit. Like, that'll make us no money. Why would I stop listening to dudes that got it argue about something as simple as materialistic things? Cars, okay, y'all both got cars. Next, you know what I'm saying? It was no substance there for me, so I really didn't get it. Kwame Brown, you mad? Just like you said, hey, Hardy was saying, that white boy, you a hater. You say some impactful things sometimes, but boy, you got hate in your blood. You feel me? And like you said, with gunplay, I don't agree with the recording the conversation, but I understood why that happened. And again, that's that emotional and logical tote line, and he went with the emotional side. My son, this, that, and the other. Was the beige rage wrong? As hell. Leave kids out of it, especially if your target is someone totally different. But going and digging up the receipts and all that other good stuff, right back to what my good brother Chris said. Whole shit.
Well, listen, we're going to do something different. I'm going to give you a different perspective. I want you to look at Scottie Pippen, and I want you to look at this through the lens of a hater. Okay? I was playing on a team who, despite all my best effort, it was Jordan's team. He leaves. I carried his team. I don't know if they made the playoffs or the finals. I think they made the playoffs. I don't know how far they went, right? Yeah. Comes back and commands control of the team, right? No matter what, it's always, they never talk about me in good grace. It's always Jordan and Pippen. Never talk about me as one of the greatest athletes to ever play the basketball game. And second, listen, this man has always been, I've been always number 2. I don't got no shoes that sell like that. And most of all, now, the person I hate the most has a son that's beating the pinata stuff out of my ex-wife. So imagine being a hater that you hate a person, but you can't touch him. There's nothing I can do. He got more money than I got. he got more control than I got. So listen, so when I see Pippen talking like that, I'm like, bro, that's just a man that don't know what to do because I have been beaten at every end.
Oh, Pippen, hold on.
Be emotional.
You're no angel, Pippen. You're no angel because you are the same guy that quit on your team in the middle of a game because they didn't run a play for you. You didn't celebrate when Tony Kukoc made that game-winning shot because Phil Jackson didn't run the play for you. That's what you did. What you also did was you are the dummy that accepted a really terrible, terrible contract and got mad about playing on a terrible, terrible contract that you signed. You also are the guy who what else you did? You didn't get knee surgery knowing it could affect your team in the offseason because you wanted to party. Again, I understand your reasoning check-wise and all that, but you're not a good teammate. You wasn't a good teammate in those situations. And I have no beef with you, Scotty, right? At all. I love you. I had your jersey growing up, but in those situations, you were not a good teammate. So it's at some point you got to let go of whatever beef that you got with Jordan, because after you left, sure enough, the year after he left, you lost 2 or 3 less games. Very impressive. But when you left to go to the Rockets or the Blazers, you wasn't the same player that you was when you was in Chicago. Scott.
Question, Chris, because I know you're a stats person. Is Larsa the wife that he was beating? Or that was one before her? Larsa, is she the wife? Is that the wife that he was beating when we were younger, or is that the one before him? See, because you was an abusive husband too, which is on record. So now, if that's the one that you were beating, now she getting eaten. That you ain't got nothing to do with that, bro. You lost. Emotional. I told you go emotional, you lose every time.
Bro,
Hey.
most time haters are people that I really hate this nigga, but I can't do nothing. He's better than me in every aspect. That's what oftentimes that's a hater. And right now, I hate this man. Every time I look around, there's something happening that reminds me of this nigga that I hate.
And you know the most beautiful
hard.
thing about that. This is why it just elates my heart because of this. Jordan barely speaks. He barely says anything. He probably doesn't. Then he dropped a whole damn documentary and killed Pippen in it. And then that's going to last forever. And so what you really mad about is something that's a #1 seller. He's going to get awards for this forever. He already did. It went Netflix crazy. And if he wanted to tomorrow, he could do it again. He could drop another one, the last 3 or something like that. And it'll do the same thing again. And it's nothing. Pippen, like when you're saying there's nothing he can do, it's nothing he can do. It's in no kind of way can you Fox or ESPN won't even hire you because of the stuff you just said about Jordan now. Because you look so foolish and you look uncredited. Like your accreditation just like
is out the window.
Vanquished because now you look too emotional to be hired. So now even when somebody see you right now, even if you have facts, you just look uncredible. Like you just making yourself look worse and worse and worse. And I think the worst thing about this, I'm like this go is you got boys. So not only the sad thing about this is they already got to deal with their mama sleeping with Micheal Jordan, right? They already got to deal with you was Batman. I mean, you was Robin to Batman, but now they got to deal with their daddy looking like Chester Cheetah and being a hater all over TV. Dog, these boys starting to play basketball now. So now they dealing with you're hurting their careers. Like, because when people start disliking you, it's gonna spill down to your kids. So we're gonna have some teams that people respect Jordan so much, they're not gonna fuck with your kids because you don't have to shut up because you are top 50. You do have a Hall of Fame jacket. You are still rich. Shut up and go play golf, croquet, or tennis, and let your sons live. Because right now, all this hate is gonna start. Your sons are gonna start paying for your hatred and your ability not to get over something that happened 30 years ago.
I don't know, Hardy. The mama just as bad too, because she'd been around the league. Remember the dude that was going to play for the team? Her son already in the league.
Yeah.
I remember when the boy, like, damn, the dude she was dating. You remember that, Chris?
Micheal Beasley.
Oh God, yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, but I'm saying she don't have no clout. She don't have no clout. She just a baby mama. Like she have done nothing substantial in this world. I'm saying
but
Pippen is accredited. In the NFL, in the NBA, Pippen was respected. Like I'm Pippen. Like Harold Miner's son. Like Carmelo's son gonna be. Like you were one of them. But now when your daddy a laughing stock, you lose that accreditation now. And it's like, come on, bro. And your mama still who she is. And now it's like you killing your kids, bro. Shut up. You whatever she gonna be. But you be a stand-up guy.
Yeah.
Well, let me say, let's speed up. I'm gonna ask y'all something. What's y'all thoughts about Shannon Shape leaving Skip Bayless, Chris?
It's time. I think it's time. I think when he got into that space, Skip Bayless was one of the top sports analysts. For him to, he did come off of NFL, on ABC that did the AFC. He was on that cast, but he was one of many on that cast. To go one-on-one with Skip Bayless, who prior to that would one-on-one with Stephen A., who's now arguably top of sports analysts in the world. I think that was a big thing for him, and he did it, and he maximized on it. He made the best he could possibly do in that space, and now it's time to CBS. That's what the channel. Now it's time for him to move on and try different things. I hope it ain't about beef. I hope it's just about. I don't need to be validated by Skip Bayless anymore because now I am a focal point. I'm a big time name in sports commentary. And now it's time to spread his wings. Maybe he can get his own show. He already got his podcast popping, and he's getting, like, you gave him a great compliment last show or maybe a couple of shows back on his content and his interviews, things like that. Maybe it's time for him to spread his wings and go and get a little farther. Or what I'm starting to see is brothers probably saying, you know what, we can do this ourselves. We have sports history. We know how to. We can articulate our words. We know the game. We know different sports. Why don't we link up together? When you seen Stephen A. send out that, that flare.
That kite, that was kite.
Mason Cameron sent out that kite to him. I think there's starting to be a movement where black men are saying, "Hey, look, wait a minute. Why do we need to be validated by anybody? Why don't we get together and we do this, and who knows? It might start a revolution. I'm all for it. I look forward to see what he plan on doing after that. And then there's a big thing that he bought himself out of his contract, like Yo Gotti did with his contract. A lot of other people. It says a lot about you when you decide to use your money to bet on yourself.
Says you're a wise steward of your money, as the Bible tells you.
Right.
I think I agree with Chris. I think it been due. I think that last blow up that they had was the nail in the coffin. I believe though that his podcast is ran through that same FS102, Chris. So I think that the podcast is done. But also, like I said with Kanye, hey man, that's just an investment in yourself. When you invest, you lose. I do taxes, so when you start a business, it's called a loss. Everything that you invest into it. So people look at it as a loss, but as I just told y'all before, it's really a learning lesson. All the things that he's learned, he's going to take that and make back 3-4 fold of what he's been doing, and he's going to be even more popular. Because he's gonna say, I came from this. He's gonna have a story. I came from this, but look at where I am now. And that's what I think. That's what I'm looking forward to seeing with But what about you, Hardy?
I went up and down about this and went up and down about this, and everything y'all said was great. You know, I look at it, the analytical side, and I was like, in the world of podcasting, which is true, because Club Shay he could take it to another network. But I was like, just being realistic, ESPN, FS1, because of their show, it's the two top networks, right? So if you don't go to ESPN, where are you gonna go? You can go to those mid-range. Like I watch, some of the Pat McAfee shows sometimes. I watch a couple of those other shows, but at the end of the day, you got to go to ESPN if you want to leave FS1, right? Or you can start your own thing. And maybe at his age, he don't care about the money as much as the focusing on his purpose. Like he might feel he has another level of purpose. But him buying himself out his Fox agreeing to buy to cut his contract short, and him taking that, whatever that settlement was. I'm interested to see what he's gonna do, because I don't know where he can go right now. I don't think him and Stephen A gonna be good on the show together. And then in that slot, it's the same slot as FS1. So if you go to another show, I don't know what Skip gonna do or Shannon gonna do. Like, I don't see no place for either one of them right now, because I don't think people watch Skip without Shannon, or you're gonna have to get another black guy. So I feel like this is a bad move business wise for both of them if it's sports talk they want to be in. Now, if you want to do your podcast or do Shay or something like that, then it might be a good move. But if you want to do sports talk, I don't know where you can go. I don't know in that time slot where you can go and be as big as you was. I just don't. And maybe somebody else can give me some clues, but I don't know how you get bigger than that.
The thing that probably threw me off with that is I know that Shannon came along with the whole Skip pairing up because they were actually friends way before they started doing the podcast. Don't know how deep it goes, but I know they were friends who talked, during games and went back and forth. So a podcast made sense to them. I do know that we've seen where Shannon took a lot of slack for Skip being disrespectful. You know what I mean? During the years. And I'm pretty sure that pressure probably got on his back because the black community was going at Shannon like, man, he tried you and this and that. But let's be clear. You're in a situation where you're making super duper money. You're making ridiculous money. Nobody ever dreamed of analysts having $30 million contracts to do, to talk for fun. So, I'm with Mario. I don't know possibly where he could go, because I know the style of podcasting and style of interviews they do uncensored, right? You can't say what you want to say on ESPN. There's not many networks that'll be a good outlet for him. So I'm interested to see what he do. I just think in business, sometimes you got to endure certain things to keep that check coming. And, he's built his brand up because I love his content, but only he knows. I just think if you made an emotional decision, sometimes, you can leave yourself in limbo. So I'm interested to see where he's going to go. If he goes private, cool, but it takes a while to build up a good private platform. And to be honest, we enjoy him and we love him. But if he was to go to fan base or somewhere, how many people actually pay a subscription to watch the shows. You know, people are feeling like that. Chris,
Well, they won't pay $10 to go to the inlet, but they're not doing it.
I paid $10 last night. I was very unpleased.
Well, I think that Shannon has somewhat of a blueprint from that same show on CBS. Michael Strahan was able to parlay a job on Good Morning America. So maybe that's his aspirations of being able to take that platform and make it so he's even more like nationally syndicated, local network, so everybody got more access to him. I don't know. Maybe I have no idea. Maybe take the Steve Harvey route where he's hosting game shows and hosting on national TV, something like that. I personally think he speaks entirely too loud for daytime TV, but who knows? I look forward to seeing what he got up under his sleeve.
Okay, yeah, I'm definitely interested to see, because you can't say half the stuff. You say ESPN, you can't say gay, you can't say Emer, you can't say nothing. You ain't gonna be on there with no Black and Miles or with the bottom.
Miles in the yak, Miles in the yak.
I salute him on everything that he does, though. So let me ask y'all a good question that I can't figure out for nothing in the world. We might have to switch it up and see and ask each other how we see each other as fathers. This came from Jarrell Wright, who does a lot of our media work now. He's just started. Viewer question: growing up, because Father's Day is what, in 2 weeks?
Not this Sunday, next Sunday.
Yeah.
All right, 2 Sundays to go. Father's Day is on us. Here's the viewer question: growing up, who was your favorite TV dad? And now that you're a father, who do you identify with the most? Super Mario.
You give me Fred Sanford. Fred Sanford was my favorite dad. I love Fred. He took nothing from something. He was just most of my life as a father, I was a single father. Like, you know, I'm 4 years in being married, being a dad, but most of my life it was me and my daughter. You know, that's in my head. So I always felt like him and Lamont, like he figured it out. He was making money off of trash. He was doing whatever. He had his homeboys. He was, you know what I'm saying? He didn't take no crap. He was just getting along to get along. Like, I loved watching Fred Sanford growing up. I thought that he was an underrated dad too. I think a lot of people didn't understand how much he taught Lamont. Like, he gave him, like he said, we the kings of jump. He gave him an empire to bestow upon him. And then he called him out every time on his dumb stuff. And then sped a rod. You know what I'm saying? I love that. I think right now, as a father, that's a good one. Me, I'm probably like the daddy from I Hate Chris. Because I work, I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear no crap about nothing. I love my wife, but I feel like we need to keep going. We need to keep doing this. You know what I'm saying? We need to keep going. I don't know if that's a good one, but I would have had some more cliche ones. Like, he could have said other stuff, but I feel like I'm focused on that part of my life right now. With my boys, it's just about making sure that they beat the stereotypes, and that's all I really care about right now.
I was stumped. I couldn't come up with it. So the question was, who was your favorite TV dad? And I couldn't think of it, man. I mean, I liked the Uncle Phil. I kind of like Dre from the new show Blackish. I think everybody, I love it. Sorry, I do actually like James Evans, because he was tough. He was a tough daddy. So who's my favorite TV dad growing up? I definitely don't know. But I'll tell you who I think I identify with the most. If y'all go back and watch Boys in the Hood, I identify with Furious. Furious was, Furious Styles. Yeah, Furious Styles, man. There was some moments in that movie I thought that you can get some gems out of. And I thought that I can identify with a father just trying to make his son into a man that's going to be a father, husband, black man in this world later on. So I identify with Furious probably the most. Chris Leo.
I'm gonna lose my black card on this, but my TV dad is Al Bundy. I thought Al Bundy was
that's a good one.
Best one of the best dads. He was a high school. He was a high school All-American. He married his high school sweetheart. He got 2 kids out of the deal. I'm pretty sure Peggy was hot in his
In high
world.
school.
Peggy was super hot. He was able to manage his whole family and be respected, and only being a shoe salesman, middle-aged shoe salesman. He didn't play no shit at his house. He talked shit about his wife, and his wife talked shit about him. And that part I don't like. I hate a sassy mouth ass woman, but as at the same time, man, you better not try Peggy. Al will go grab that bat and come after you and come see about you. Or Kelly Bundy. You couldn't mess with Kelly Bundy. He knew Kelly Bundy was home. He knew it. And you are not finna play with that man about his daughter, man. I thought he had a homeboy that he rocked with. He kept Marcy out of his wife's business. Once Marcy was trying to run him out too much, he checked her and kicked her out the house. And Peggy, Peggy never threatened him with divorce. And yeah, he went through his stints of not getting none, but when Peggy wanted to give him some, Peggy gave him some. You know what I'm saying? So for me personally, man, it was crazy for me because I thought that it was either out of Al Bundy or maybe the character that 50 Cent played in Den of Thieves when the dude came to take his daughter to the prom. I liked that, but TV dad, I had to go with Al Bundy. But as far as my influence dads now, I actually look, because now that I know TV is just fake, I look at y'all, man. I look at my homeboys, man. And speaking of that, man, I want to give a big congratulations to my homeboy, the Deacon. He just had a beautiful young daughter named Honesty, spelled with an O, pronounced with an H. But yes, I think 2 days ago he just became father 3 times, and he just joined the Girl Dad Club. So I look at things like that, man. I look at the heart of your situation. I look at when Zay, before I was left Palm Beach, I wanted to emulate the things that Zay was doing with Zaya. That was one of the biggest factors of me leaving. I watched Horace raise sons. I don't know how to raise sons, but I watched him, be able to do it, and I have a great relationship with both of them. I got homeboy Busy just got his son after a custody battle. Rail, who's you've seen on here, he got 4 daughters. I can't imagine how it is to balance having 4 daughters and a wife and all those emotions and stuff like that. But he does it, you know what I'm saying? So I kudos to him, man. I got a lot of great father representations. Even my brother, I know that man loves his kids more than I know how much my brother loves his kids. All my homeboys, man. Yellow Boy, he's a great father. He taught me how it feels to just make sure for your daughter. You know what I'm saying? So I know I'm missing some, but yeah, y'all are my influence and inspiration now. As far as I look at y'all, I look at tangible. I take a little piece of everybody and try to put it into my game, remix it a little bit, and get Puff Daddy on the hook.
All right, Zay.
This one stumped me for a little bit because I'm not really the big TV watcher. I really watch movies. But Chris, I do like the Al Bundy because we've all grown up watching Al, and Al was the man. So I don't think they'll pull your black card for Al. Al is black. You forgot he roasted somebody, and it was good too. So you never can forget that. But I always like Bill Cosby or what's my boy Carl Winslow as fathers growing up. You know what I'm saying? I like the dynamic with their families and how they operated. Why? I don't know, probably because I didn't have that myself, but I just like that operation. But when it came to myself, I thought of I can't think of the actual sitcom name, but the guy from Homeboys in Outer Space with his daughter. Flex, yes. I think that's my dynamic with my daughter. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm who I am with her, but at the end of the day, she understands that I'm father, and I'll listen the same way that I'll go balls to the walls about her. I will be a damn fool for her too, just to make sure that she's a better human being in life. You understand what I'm saying? And I want her to get a lot of the experiences that I didn't get an opportunity to have growing up. by a father being there and being willing to do the things that I'm willing to do. Some may understand it, some may not, but that's important to me because one of the things that I do realize with having a girl daughter, like Chris said, Horace, I don't know nothing about raising boys. You know what I'm saying? I think if God would have gave me a boy, I probably wouldn't be who I am right now. I'd probably be teaching them how to do all manners of foolishness. But because he graced me with a daughter, it made me erect myself and actually think about some of the things that I do and change them because, heck, I don't want this for her. But then it actually made me think about some of the things I'm doing. Like, hey, this ain't even right. Like, it made me feel a way about it. Well, I didn't have a conscience about a lot of things that I did. So I think with him, it's the same thing. He was a single father, and he did his thing with her, and that's who I see myself. Y'all can tell me if I'm wrong, but that's what I came up with. Like I told you, this was a hard one for me.
That was a good one. I used to like that Flex show with his daughter. Like that was a cool dynamic watch, seeing that growing up, and I forgot all about that. And now it's kind of like full circle as a single dad with the
That's
daughter.
who you are. You went to Spider-Man. I went to
It
Spider-Man
full
today.
circle now. Yeah,
Don't forget,
artist also is somebody that a father that I look up to. Man, he's married one woman, had his children, and then took care of all his children too. Man, like y'all are my inspiration. Now I don't have to look to TV. I don't have to look to movies anymore. I don't have to do that. Even though I didn't have a father, I now have the ability to tap into all other fathers, man, and I appreciate y'all for that.
Facts.
My wife and kids with Marlon Wayans, Damian Wayans, can't forget about him. And we cannot
I tried to boycott it at first because of what I thought Tisha Campbell did to Martin, but that was a good show. I used to sneak and watch it during my boycott.
I want to salute a dad that don't
get one-on-one. That's it, Jarrell.
I want to salute a daddy that don't get enough credit. Jason Pitts from the game. Listen, Jason was a financial guru. Yeah. He taught me one lesson. The biggest ripoff in this world is ice. When I go to a fast food restaurant, give me ice in one cup, my beverage in another. I'm going to drink good for the longest time.
I want to give a shout out to the author of this question too, man. Jarrell, he's the youngest, but like I find myself when I talk to him, I find myself putting myself in the younger position because I admire what he's done so much. So I'm coming to him. I know I'm older than him. When I talk to him, I'm almost in the younger position because I'm like, God damn, I gotta respect this kid because he's done it the right way and he's smiling. He's like the LeBron James of marriages. No incidents. Been doing it for a long time. He's kind of like the LeBron James of marriage.
Wise beyond his years in marriage at his age. That's what Jarrell is to us.
He lived with his wife, of course. They drive to work. They work together. They church together. They are together all day, all night.
I gotta respect that.
You can learn a lot from that,
bro. That's a lot, boy. Hey, that's true love. And it's
your wife, your friend. I don't personally recommend it, but I respect it.
What's up, Nicholas Turner? Turner had a bunch of girls. See, God gives girls to players for they can see the error of all these sinful ways and give them time to correct it. That's why they give you girls. I learned that a long time ago. That's why I didn't have none. But all right, fellas, we did a show today.
In an hour.
Yeah, we did. Chris had a question. I don't know how to approach it. So that's Chris.
What's that?
That would be your call, the DC.
Oh, I know the situation is sensitive, man. And I know it's sensitive, but I wanted to have a semi-conversation about DC's young fly situation. First off, I want to give condolences. First, condolences. Like to rip a child mother away from her children, and even him having to deal with losing his child's mother. I think that is amazing, and I'm not going to reprimand women for their choices, but I think it is in these situations. It is something to consider. It is something to consider, and I don't want to be a part of this need for women to think that they need to do things like this to enhance beauty. That's for me personally. That's why I compliment natural more than anything in the world. If I see a woman with her hair, I compliment her hair more than I compliment any enhancements or any PEDs or whatever like that. So I just want to give my condolences to the family, man. I don't want to, I know this is new and I know it's sensitive, but it's just heartbreaking. That was a really, really heartbreaking story.
I would say this, Chris, because I didn't know how to introduce it, because that is a heart. That's a pull on your heart when everyone heard the news. I even hated to see it go viral, even though it's news, to see it just go out. Usher's mother passed away having surgery. Like, there's been a couple incidents like that. So I think what you're trying to say is, it's hard to endure because we don't feel like women are doing it for us, or maybe they're doing it to compete. But I personally thought the woman was phenomenally beautiful, from what I did see. But I know a lot of women that in this era, like, it's almost like getting a tattoo. They're always, looking to get some cosmetic work done for their various reasons. And that's a trend that they do for them. So I don't know. We could say we don't do it for us.
I understand. I know, but I don't. Subconsciously, I wonder: do we add on to that pressure? And I just want to. I don't want to be a part of the problem. If I just don't want to be a part of the problem.
I think women competing with different women simply because they feel like they feel like we're visual. So let me give myself the best possible whatever to get attention or get me in these rooms with my beauty, knowing that a man will hit that 1,000 times because it's attraction, but he's not going to connect with you because, as men, they say all the time, everybody fine, but you can't even have a conversation with a lot of these chicks. You don't even want to be around some of these chicks. But I think that's just the social media age we in. Everybody's visually perfect.
But should we, like I say, should we be more promoting? Is the right thing to do to be more supportive and promoting of natural, or just stay out of it? That's the question. Because I don't, like I say, I don't want to be a part of it. To me, in my mind, that's why I try to compliment natural more than I compliment enhancements. But I don't know. Like I don't know. I don't know how we can help in this situation.
We don't dictate the culture. You know what dictates the culture? People of influence. Right now, rappers. You know what I mean? Rappers say they want the baddest chick. That's why you got chicks that's black trying to get light skin. You know, we come on here all the time and say we just want natural women, but we're saying that to women that don't really want us as their first choice. They want the football player, the rapper, the person with all the money. And if they're saying this is the chick that we're looking for, they're trying to, I guess, match that. I don't want to sound like I'm being hypocritical, but I don't think we're in a position where we dictate. It's like they're not even listening to us. They're doing what they think is putting them in a good place. I just seen 3 chicks I know right here locally. They just changed their whole goddamn frame. I don't know what doctor they went to. I didn't even recognize her ass. She done lost so much weight, head big, body is snatched to the gods. Bruh.
I don't know. I don't really think that it's just this woman thing. I think more so it's people in general. Because I mean, with the women, yes, the body thing and whatnot, and then Chris, you were talking earlier about just like your shortcomings as far as what you feel like. I think it's a perception how you view yourself. A lot of people, to know yourself is to love yourself. You understand what I'm saying? Flaws and all. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not going to be perfect. We're human beings. That's the first thing that we talk when we're trying to get it right and things like that. But I see where they are playing a factor. And the reason why I use what you were saying, Chris, is because you said you look at your daily walk and then you look at individuals that that are close by you. And then you say you become a little envious. You understand what I'm saying? There are people that would love to be where you at and think there's nothing wrong with Chris. He tripping. Well, he envious of somebody else for. Yeah, he could do a little fine tuning here and there, but he doing great. I suck. And then you have women who may view what they view, because it's all about what's important to you that way. And then they like, look at her, she's banging this, that, and the other. Well, all I got to do is this. And then when you have access to things like money, then that seems like just a drop in the bucket. That's easy to do, but it probably was the best thing for you to do, as she learned, unfortunately. So like you said, first and foremost, condolences to her and her family. But I just didn't want to do a thing where you know, we were trying to get on women about that. That ain't that. Somebody lost their life. You know what I'm saying? And sadly, because they thought they weren't enough. And us, like you said, we thought she was beautiful. We didn't understand what mommy makeover you were making over. You were good. So I just think overall, us as human beings just got to get better, man, better grounded. Stop, like Horace said, letting the individuals influence us. Like, stop being followers, man. You know what I'm saying? Lead your own destiny. But that's how I see it, man. That was that.
Mario.
Dead serious about it, I see.
Dead serious.
Mario.
Well, I think it's kind of what Zay said, a little bit off of that. I think it's both ways. I think most men who sell drugs gonna lie and say they sell it to feed their family when really they sell it to get ahead, right? And they sell it to take the easy way out, and they can go to the fastest way to get to success. Most women glorify dudes with money, so that's why men don't go on the table and get their body cut up. They do anything to get money. They'll put themselves in. They buy big chains. They know they can get robbed. It doesn't have any value. They buy cars and dump a bunch of money into it. Pay high insurance. They get 4 jobs. We do everything what can kill us too to get money. And I feel like women value is in their body and their looks. So they're gonna do anything they can to get to the top of that ladder, which is looks. I think the saddest thing about it was the cheat codes, because ours at first glance may seem a little more wholesome than theirs because you actually get in the operation. But I look at all the brothers who done lost their life in the system, who done got robbed, or who done got killed, or who done got set up by women, all to portray that they are rich or they have abundance of money just to impress women. And I think in some of those guys, we'll sit back amongst ourselves and say, man, they should have stopped. How much is enough? He had enough money. He had enough cars, but you always want to do and always want to do. And I think it's that same, like it's a mind state of people. Like, and sometimes even me and my wife just talked, and she just said last year, she's like, next year we're going to chill. But the drive to want to be better. Some can denounce it or reduce it to you want to look at this and want that. But sometimes, I want to go back to what Tootie said, sometimes when you don't have nothing growing up, you always trying to secure and make sure that somebody else has something. DC Young, right? Girlfriend, God bless the dead, and condolences, was an influencer too. So her looks did pay her. So her looking a certain way had people click on that thing, like what Chris alluded to. Look at her. She was a wild. I'm saying like her looks brought her money and brought a form of revenue into her house. Now I agree with Horace. She looked nice to me. She was very good, but she wasn't in the realm of the people who I talked to daily. She was in the realms of some heavy hitters. Her boyfriend was around extremely beautiful women, day in, day out. So that pressure could have pushed her to do that too. You know what I'm saying? And then just like, and it might not have been from him, it just might have been the pressure of him walking up, seeing a beautiful woman, and in her man face constantly. And she looking back like, dang, I can get a little bit more. I can do a little bit more because she understands her position in life. The same thing as dudes who buy the S500 to 2023 when they got a 2021, or they go buy another Louis Vuitton. You know what I'm saying? It's the same stuff. And me and my other homeboy, I'm gonna let it go. Kwame was just talking about this, and I was like, so many dudes spent so much money to go to Rick Ross concert. Around a whole bunch of dudes to put their cameras around a whole bunch of dudes with a whole bunch of cars, with a whole bunch of money, who most are taking penitentiary chances or even at least making bad investments for another man who's a millionaire to say, good job. So at the end of the day, I think everybody in life does it to the highest level. I think it's just as men, we feel a little more empathetic because especially the way we look at it, us four on the screen, we value women in totality. And we appreciate women in totality. So you don't have to be perfect in the Instagram world's eyes to us to be amazing. So we can understand and look back at her and say, dang, she was good enough. She was good enough. But
you know what's crazy about that, what you saying too, Hardy, and then this, you know, I might get some blowback for this, but it is what it is. A good friend brought up a good question to me about that. Did you see how they depicted her when they mentioned DC Young Fly, his good friend? She's dead. She has children. And I think that's a shot at us, definitely with me. You understand what I'm saying? Where we have these good women around, right? That's the mother of several kids for him. I'm not sure of their story, but I think 2 of the kids for certain were his, if not all of them.
I think all of them. I think all
Okay,
three.
see? So that's what I wasn't sure of. But then she was just a good friend. So that could have led to why she wanted to get her body done. Like you were saying, Hardy, you got other women in his face and things like that. And we didn't give her that thing that she was looking for. That's what probably made her insecure. And again, like I said, I could take blowback about that. We got a podcast on that. But man, that actually made me sit back and really put some thought into, like, damn, do you want that to be? I think you said this, Hardy, when you leave here, what do you want the talk to be about you when you left? And unfortunately, that's the talk about.
Yeah, validation
like
from a man who you love is important for women. We can overlook that or sweep it up under the rug, but it's one thing I learned about being married is a woman can know you love her, but that validation you give her by saying I choose you and I commit to you is a high that I don't think can be marketed. And that's why it's so like breathtaking to hear women say they don't want that or they don't need it. And I think it's the ignorance of not knowing people who really living in it to say, yes, you do. I think, I was saying, sometimes they say, sometimes you don't know what you want until you have, you know what I'm saying? You don't, because you ain't know what you're missing or something like that. Like, you don't even know that you want this because you don't know nobody who really had it.
Or something that you said where you were like, you feel less of because of what somebody else told you. So you heard other people say it. So you just like, you know what? It sounds good. So yeah, I don't need to be married. Who said I need to be married? What? So you like carrying in water out your car? You like taking out the trash? You like mowing the grass? All that good stuff? And I'm not saying that some women don't, but come on, man, cut it out. We all like money, but we all don't like to go to work.
I'm saying people, like, I don't want to be alone. Like, take women out. Like, I don't want to be 60 alone.
And that's
like, I don't want to have to go, like, right now, when me and Jaleesa go on trips, I just went on a trip with Zay and Horace. And the whole town was like, yeah, them my boys, but shit, I don't want to be on a trip with them. I want to be on a trip with my wife. Like, I want to have fun. Like, I would have been okay if she had been there, then I could have hung out with them and went back there. But I'm saying I want to have a companion. Like, that's something I want. Like, to me, more power to anybody, do whatever they want. But I know in my life, I didn't want to end up single. Like, that's something I don't want to do. And to me, that's how I looked at my life. But some people feel like they can, and I'm okay with that too. I'm just saying, in my life, that's knowing you got somebody, people can say all the bad about it in the morning, but waking up in the morning, knowing I got somebody who got me, shit, I'm all right.
All right, listen, before we run up out of here, we got to recognize a question before we leave, and we'll do it as a lightning round. I don't know if y'all read the news. What do y'all think about Cornel West running for president? And I don't even know if y'all guys are familiar with Cornel West. What do you think about Cornel West, a black, Afrocentric scientist running for president? Chris Leo.
I think we free Travis Rudolph. Free Travis.
All right. Zay, the ladies mean.
Man, outside of his late night show, I don't really know enough about Cornel West, but I am a fan of all skin folk and kinfolk. I don't think that could be the case with him, but I just don't want other jokers to just jump on board that we have another black man running for president and then just start voting that way. I think we need to be a little bit more educated with the way that we're voting and make sure you're voting for things that's going to affect you, because that storm is brewing, as we spoke of earlier, and you got to get yourself ready. So I don't know. I'm still too early.
Well, I would say this. For me, I would not vote for any African-American candidate that has no chance in hell of winning. Second, I am tired of candidates. I would not vote for any African-American candidate that is not pro-black. I see a few candidates that are going to run for office, and they will say they're black, but they have an LGBT campaign, and they are funded by Black Lives Matter. So make sure we have that conversation later on. And right now, we were supposed to talk about the Sanders and whatnot, but then we'll do that next show. And right now, the presidency looks very bleak. You had Mike Pence announce he's running for president, Cornel West, Ron DeSantis, whatever her first name, Mallory Taylor Greene. So you have a lot. Marjorie Taylor Greene is running. So it's going to be interesting. But at the end of the day, all these people, they make it seem like you got options, and you still end up with the same two over the head of 70-year-old white men to choose from. So we'll see how it go. Mario, what do you think about?
I'm not voting for him. It's not a way in hell I'm voting for him. I only vote for people right now. The only agenda I care about right now is my agenda. So I know that Cornel West not going to align with my properties. So he's not getting a damn vote for me.
I ain't voting for Cornel West.
I like him though. I like what he be saying. Sometimes he funny, but yeah, I don't give a damn about that. He'll raise my taxes.
Sure. Yeah, I don't want no African American that's American representing me. All right. Closing comments. Zay the latest man.
Man, I only have one. I tell y'all, I love that moniker that you have behind you, Chris. I like that. If you haven't gotten the mug, you need to get one. I don't understand what's the problem. We've said it for weeks. Other than that, man, I had a hell of a week. I want to say shout out to the newlyweds. So Tammy Smith, who was a longtime family friend of ours, she did get married on Saturday. She's now Ennis. So that was a beautiful wedding. I got a chance to attend. My weekend was actually jam-packed. I got a chance to do a grown and sexy jazz violinist, like dinner type vibe, which if you know Horace jokes about me all the time, I like to do different things. And God doggone it, that was good and it was different. Shout out to the people who missed it because y'all missed the treat, and shout out to the people who were there because y'all got a chance to take advantage of a treat. But if you missed it, they do plan to run it back. A lot of them, the promoters were Virgos, so they have a Virgo bash. And I'm going to tell you, put your good threads on. It does not kill you to dress up sometime. Hey, the good brother, Shannon Shape, say we are at an age where your fashion needs to be age appropriate. And my brother, if you have a problem putting on a suit or some hard bottoms at our age, you going on that whiteboard that my illustrious friend Hardy was talking about. I got my eye on you, nigga. But that's all I got for y'all. Tune in again.
All right, who I missed? Mario.
Good night. Thank y'all for coming. And we appreciate y'all, man. We really appreciate y'all, man. Shout out. I'm gonna say this. Shout out to Rick Ross because people are gonna glass over this, but it's 2 years in a row. Almost 30,000 people been in Atlanta, Georgia, and not one person even got pinched. And no traffic stop, no DUI. Like right now in the city of Fayetteville, if you don't know, that's coming out of like two of the worst counties. Like right now, Clayco and Fayetteville. So like them two counties right there is known for knocking dark-skinned Americans
guys off
at any cause. So for him to have that and to bring that revenue to that area, which is majority black anyway, and some of it, a nice part of it is a good, rich black people. I like that, man. Thank you. So shout out to him. Shout out to him and shout out to him, man. And shout out to everybody who's doing good, man, and is surviving right now. Horace has spoke about this earlier. I think people need to understand that right now, America's surviving. Not just people individually, but right now, America is in survival mode. And one thing I can say is I think better days are coming because most of the people I know, we grew up in this mode. So as the country enter into what we used to, this is the time that we should thrive. So we know what to do. So we should bunker down and then do what we know to do in this kind of environment. Don't panic. Don't let the news make you panic. Do what you know how to do. Survive as a people with little and get more.
Great. Chris Leo.
Before I get to mine, I'm not the most fashionable guy, so I'm gonna have to go with Hardy on this. I don't know if I like the purple stripes with the floral shirt. Purple striped socks with the floral shirt. Was he wilding or was that fashion forward? I just don't. The purple stripes and the floral shirt. I don't know if stripes go with floral. I like the purple. I like it accents the shirt. I get that. You had the ankle showing. I get that. I just don't know if the stripes work.
Who had that on?
Hey,
I did. I did. Let me ask some questions, man.
Hard. Tell me.
You got to stand up.
Oh shit.
Well, I guess that answers your question right there. I think I see where you were going with it. I think that was more of an outdoor brunch vibe. like like a sea circle vibe, like than a formal jazz event, because you want to stay with dark colors and florid patterns and stay away from florals when you in those kind of events. But I seen he was going. He was definitely artistic.
Yeah,
I see that he had a lot going on. You know what I'm saying? I see what he was going with it, the color patterns, and you can't match floral and stripes. But I just think times and places for a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I think that he looked smooth, but
that's gonna make the blooper reel with this drop the mic exit. God damn it, Kobe. Was there?
I gotta get the picture to see you.
One way to make an exit, bro, is good old Xavier. I didn't hear about the event. I'm glad to see more upscale events coming to Riviera Beach. I was out with Don Wynn, who yes, you're gonna be notified. We are celebrities, and we went to the inlet where we were charged $10 a piece to go in and drink wholesale beverages. So now I guess inlet is turning into Costco's. So yeah, that's how my night went. On behalf of Zeta Latest, man, Fade to Black, you'll watch the Black Super Friends. Vanessa, you can have anything you want on the side of your mug.
All right, pause.
Yeah, I was
free Travis Rudolph. He getting the raw deal. Free Travis
For real,
Rudolph.
dog. I didn't even want to talk about it, dog.
Deal.
I got hooked watching that before we go, and I was so sad today, dog. Every day, and I'll be telling myself I'm not gonna watch it again. And I was in my office so mad today, right? To open up, I'm like, why am I putting myself through this, dog? This is like the injustice. I'm like, how could you not see this man had to fight for his life? It's just like crazy. But then they got a black lady for the attorney who was like digging into him. I'm like, they do this on purpose, man.
Bro, definitely free the fam. You know what I mean? I got to give it to them. The defense, one thing about those attorneys, they have been phenomenal.
Yeah.
I don't even know how this is the case. If anything, it's making people say, like, why are there not charges against the young lady who orchestrated this whole fiasco while being married? So it's going to be interesting. If he wasn't a celebrity, I don't know. You know what I mean? He got FSU lawyers, so it's nothing like the best lawyers. That's one thing about FSU, bro. It's a family. And the way
they sent them to him. Then they sent the guy who, like, you can't think they ain't had nothing to do with him because he attached to them.
Bro, those lawyers, his defense, man, I can't see a jury saying guilty. Like, I just can't picture that at all. So shout out to that young brother. We here with you, man. Such a young cat, such a young good dude, man. Well, Jarrell is a UM supporter, man. It never happened, Jarrell. Jesus Louise. Hey, thank y'all for joining us on another episode of the Black Super Friends. Let's go before these Miami people start getting in our comments. Same black channel, same whatever. Later.